It's very interesting place. So there are always a lot of traffic jams because to access the very center of Sète is quite difficult actually. As you know, I don't know if you've heard of the yellow, yellow cardigans, we call les gilets jaunes. Well, there are people protesting against, well, many things, especially against the increase of gas prices. So some of them are blocking the roads. Well, I don't know in Sète, but I live in Montpellier. Well, I had no difficulties to drive to Sète this morning, but well, it happens that they've blocked many places, especially refineries and supermarkets. So we want to have the opportunities to see supermarkets this morning. Well, in Montpellier, unless some of you want to have some free time and not follow the entire walking tour, but you will see that in supermarkets there are a lot of empty shelves because they're blocking also the access of supermarkets or warehouses. So this is well, getting problematic, let's say. So a lot of people join these groups and would like the government, well, to do something about especially the gas prices, but the government is not reacting. This is why you can also see a lot of speed raiders just being covered with blankets because, well, I didn't have to pay, this morning I didn't have to pay the toll at the, well, outside, well, when I exited the highway. Well, they had blocked and, well, I took a ticket but didn't have to pay, so that's the good thing about this gathering. But they're blocking and they're indeed, well, a lot of people are a bit annoyed because every day going to work is very difficult. Some factories have had to close down. So yeah, this is. I hope we won't be blocked. Well, we shouldn't because we checked with our driver, with Frédéric, the road, well, the access to Montpellier, so shouldn't be a problem. So to the left this is where petrol is. They're not refineries, but this is where petrol is or gas is stored. But they blocked these were called yellow gilets jaunes. Yellow cardigans have blocked many gas stations, so it's also a problem for some people to get some gas, petrol. Anyway, there are always strikes in France, so there's always something going on. Well, the last big strikes were in last May. The train SNCF company, I can't remember what it was for. Well, anyway, it was just another reason. But there's always a good reason to protest. Well, usually because of the, well, not well, the decrease of salaries. Well, not decrease, but or more, well, longer working hours and yeah, or working conditions. But well, for the time being, well, let's talk about pleasant things. So you can see here a lot of ponds by the sea. So there are also canals. This is in this area where oysters and mussels are grown. More on the other side in Sète, there's a very, very large pond, Bassin de Chateau, where oysters and mostly oysters and mussels are reared. So yeah, we also have oysters, even if there's no tide, well, hardly no tide. Well, there are methods to recreate just fake tides, and in order to grow mussels, and they're put on tables which are twisted, well, put in the sea and then out of the sea, just to recreate the tide. And they're very good oysters, actually. The thing is that they're not as salty as say as the ones coming from the ocean. The taste is much sweeter. It's quite different from the ones the oysters coming from the Atlantic Ocean. but they're also very good. Well, so there are a lot of also very good restaurants in Sète serving the local fish and shellfish. So this is here a protected area. All the ponds, well, some are just just a natural reservation for birds and for different species. We're very close to the sea, obviously. You start seeing a lot of vineyards, and this is from here in Nîmes, Montpellier, all the way down to Spain, the largest wine producing area of the world. Only vineyards, and so many different types of wines. Well, red, well, rosé of course, and white wines, but a lot of different grape varieties. Here, as for red, it's usually, if you buy local wines, it will be usually Shiraz, Mourvèdre, Carignan, and Grenache. When it comes to white, the list is just it's just too long. But in this area, it's mostly Muscat. You will see Muscat de Fontignan, so dry Muscat or sweet Muscat. But there exist so many different types of wines, it's just unbelievable. The most famous one, near Montpellier, interested in buying wine. I know you're not maybe allowed to drink it on the ship, but you can get the bottle back at the end of the cruise. Yeah, I would recommend Pic Saint-Loup. This is the name of the main mount that can be seen from Montpellier. Pic Saint-Loup. Pic means high mount. It's not very high actually, but 650 meters high. Should check in feet. Well, I will tell you later. But it's not. We will see it from Montpellier. And this is a very famous red wine, very famous appellation. The thing is that wines in this area are not as reputed as the other French wines, you know, the Bordeaux wines or the Côte-du-Rhône wines or the Burgundy wines. Here, Languedoc-Roussillon area is where still are very cheap, jug wines are made, but now, since a few decades, this is also where excellent reds, rosé and whites are made. They're not as reputed, so the price is usually not that high, and you can have excellent ones for less than 10 euros, which is not exactly the same when it comes to Côte-du-Rhône or Burgundy wines, which are the most expensive French wines, not to mention, also Champagne area. So, a new El Dorado for investors. And more, it's very hot here. It's a Mediterranean weather, Mediterranean vegetation. Around the vineyards, you can see a lot, as you've seen maybe, you must have seen already, a lot of pine trees, a lot of cypress trees, and all the trees you can see to the left, the dark ones, they're not very high, are Mediterranean oak trees with very tiny leaves, tiny dark green leaves. Well, I guess they can also be seen the same type of vegetation, nearly the same time, not exactly, but in California or places that have a very similar climate in the US. So here, mostly here what you can see along the road are Mediterranean oak trees. The leaves are very small. They're very resistant to hot weather, to strong winds, and usually very rocky soils.
Yeah, it looks rocky.
So a lot of people spend their holidays in France, French people, but not only. A lot of foreigners coming from mostly Germany, the Netherlands, the UK, come here to spend the holidays by the sea and very close to the mountains. You can see on the left. This is they're not the Pyrenees here, they're not the Alps. This is the very southern part of Massif Central. As you may know, in the middle of France is a very big volcanic area, and the very southern mounts of this volcanic area are the mounts you can see here to the left and that we will see from Montpellier. So the touristic season is of course from very high times here. The season is between May and September. We start having visitors usually from the end of March until, well, early November, sometimes until December. It's very sunny. It's Mediterranean weather, more than 300 days of sunshine a year. The thing is that what's the difference between here and Provence, so the French Riviera, which is further east of here, is that it's windier. It's windier. It's usually can be, especially in the winter month, winter and early spring, late autumn, winter and early spring can be very windy times. But this is also what allows us to have plenty of sunshine. So here the wind comes from the Pyrenees a bit, Tramontane. We also have wind. We also have wind coming from the Rhône River, which is further east, the Mistral winds, which blows down the river Rhône. So, yeah, here can be windy. Montpellier not so much, but further west, west of Sète, is usually a very windy area. So we'll have the opportunity to taste wine at Flaugerges. Flaugerges is the name of a wine estate, name also of the castle we will visit. The family is, well, they will explain you what their ancestor, who their ancestor was, a very famous man who was the Minister of Finance under the reign of Louis XIV, the Sun King, who had Versailles built near Paris. So they're very proud of their illustrious, very famous ancestor, Colbert. And this is, well, for generations they've lived in Flaugerges. Flaugerges used to be a wine estate outside of Montpellier, but as Montpellier has grown of importance and has grown this very big place, well, bit by bit, they lost a lot of were forced to sell their vineyards to the city, but they've kept a good part of it and the castle that we will visit. So Montpellier is the 7th largest French city, and what we'll concentrate on later on is the Old Town. The Old Town is the widest, well, the biggest pedestrian center of France. There are a lot of old buildings dating back from the Middle Ages and a lot of private mansions from the 17th and 18th century. It's a lovely place, and it's a very attractive city because of its location. It's by the sea, it's big, there are a lot of universities, and the oldest university of medicine and law. So especially medicine is reputed for agronomy these days, mostly medicine, and there are a lot of research labs, a lot of very good hospitals, and very good doctors. So it's by the sea. The nearest sea resorts are, well, some 10 miles, not even, away from Montpellier. There are a lot of hiking paths and vineyards north in the very southern part of Massif Central, les Cévennes. This is the name of the mount range. There are a lot of farms around here, and well, it's a big city.